Sorry, guys and gals. What's going on, everybody? I'm still setting up here. I should have did this before the start of the live stream, but kind of wait for people to start filing in. Then I'll start the review. But welcome, everybody. ODC here, and obviously you can see today's review is going to be of the Hiya Toys 1/18 scale / 3 3/4 inch scale. Predator 2. I almost wanted to say NECA there because I'm doing quite a bit of these. JD, what's up, man? Hey. But this is the Predator 2 Elder Predator, which is seen at the end of Predator 2. He actually hands Harrigan the little musket thingy from Raphael Adolini. So we're going to get to this today. I'm just going to, like I said, I am shooting this live. So if you're watching this on playback, you can fast forward through this part because I'm kind of waiting for some people to file in for the live review. But packaging looks really good. The overall aesthetics, everything as far as the packaging goes, looks pretty nice. I'll run through that really quick. If you did happen to catch my unboxing the other day, then you would have seen I did a little showcase featuring this figure, just kind of showing off the scale of it and everything like that, giving a quick little preview before I shot the review. But this is a 1/18 scale, so I'm assuming a lot of people are probably going to be a little bit interested in this, seeing as I know a lot of you out there collect 1/18 scale. And you're probably wondering, oh, will this fit with my Joes? Well, we're going to discuss that today. We're going to go through it. My usual attempt at an in-depth review. But here is the packaging. Might as well get started here. Here's the packaging right here. It looks pretty good for the most part. It says Predator 2 on the bottom. Elder Predator. Looks nice. Exquisite Mini. It's a very nice little term for the figure itself. Like I said, this is the Elder Predator. I already explained what Elder Predator this is. It's actually the first Elder Predator that we see in a Predator movie, which was featured in Predator 2. It kind of expanded the horizons of the lore for said action figure. Or said action figure, not action figure, but said genre. We're talking about the Predators here, and I believe the second Elder was seen in, I want to say AVP, the first one. He was the one with the cape at the end scene. And so yeah, there's that little bit of information. Flipping around to the side, just says Predator 2 on the side right here. And there you go with that. On the other side of the back, on the other side, on the lower bottom, we have a couple pictures with the Elder Predator. Now, this is my original thought here. There's multiple times where in the movie he comes off like a grayish tone, and then in other scenes he comes off like a gray and a green and a tan tone to his skin, which is kind of confusing because, you know, I know the ultimate version of him is coming out as far as NECA is concerned, but he was released before, and he did have like a gray tone. So I don't know, and it's with this specific one. The one that's coming out, the ultimate version, is called the Golden Angel, that's what this is based on, but this is obviously different. But there's the packaging. Nothing too crazy here. It shows Predator 2, and then it's got the cover artwork right there. Nicely done. So let's pop this sucker open, and we'll get him out of package, and we'll take a closer look at him. These are I don't want to say they're a specialty item. Ooh, we got a little brochure in here. That's pretty cool. And then we actually have a little, I'm not sure what this is, like it's like a Predator leg or torso or something. I'm not sure what the heck that is, but it would have been cool if this was like maybe like a they showed like the inside of the spacecraft where he was actually featured. That would have been cool to if they showed that, but or if you could use this as like a little display piece. So there's that little bit of information, just pretty much the backing of the inside of the box. And then over here, we do have a little brochure, which shows the rest of the figures that you can get. The Guardian Predator, City Hunter, which is pretty cool. And then we got the Shadow Predator, the Boar Predator, the Elder Predator, which we're doing right now, and the Warrior Predator. So all of those have been pretty much released. I do have to back off my lighting a little bit. It's a little bit much right now. I don't know if you guys can truly see those. It's a little bit dark too. And then on the other side, we have the Stalker Predator, the Lost Predator, Scout Predator, and the Shaman Predator, which is might be another one I'd like to get because I'd like to get this whole Lost tribe. So that would be pretty awesome. The Lost Predator 2 and the Shaman and the Scout. I'd like to pick up some more of these. And these are relatively priced around the same. Maybe depending on where you buy it from, you can pick them up for, I want to say, maybe around 20 bucks. But everywhere else I've seen them, they're usually around the $24.99 range, which is, I want to say asking a little bit much from most websites. Like if you try to find these on Amazon, you're going to pay around $24.99 for them, which I think is asking a bit much for a 3 3/4 inch figure. I'm trying to get him set up here. But I think if you find them for around 20 bucks, I think that's oh, for God's sake. I was having issues with this when I was doing the unboxing video with him standing. But I think if you find him for 20 bucks, I think it's a solid pickup. All right, he's got a plethora of accessories here. And let me readjust my situation. There we go. All right, so we've got that little piece right there. We've got, obviously, we got to get this little little flint pistol right there. And then he's got his cool little, I gotta say, everything was packaged pretty well. Very reminiscent of SH Figuarts type packaging, which I like it. So, oh, and there he goes. I'll just let him take a nap while I'm taking all this stuff out. But these are pretty cool figures. I want to see how everything is as far as quality control goes with taking all these pieces out. A little skeptical, I'm not going to lie, about this, because this, like I said, this is my first Hiya Toys figure. So there we go. And then we got these. Oh, did I drop a piece? Uh-oh. A piece fell into the abyss, but it's okay, I found it. There we go. That. Okay, Oreo just came up here, so he's going to join us with my review. All right, so here we have a, let me get this stuff out of the way. But there you go. Get that out of the way, and then let's get him out of the way, and we'll do this one by one. All right, so first up, we've got this display base, which is kind of like a, I want to say like a muddy ground type piece. Very nice display stand, to say the least. I want to say the only thing maybe I wish this had was maybe 2 peg holes for the floor piece, but you know, hopefully this is a deep enough peg, which it does look like it is, where you can peg that. I'm never a big fan of one hole. It's like, come on, man, just put another little peg right there, or not a hole, but a peg is what I mean. But looks pretty good though, nicely done. It does have some texturing. It's pretty much just a brown plastic, if you're wondering. It's not painted or anything like that. And then there's a hollow bottom with all the trademark logos and everything. And then we have 2 of these connector pieces. So if you buy a bunch of these guys, you can connect their display stands together, and it pretty much just clips on the underneath right here. You can put them at your discretion. If you want to put them over here, put them over there. You can put them on this side and have them connect any way you want. It's up to your discretion, like I said. Up next, we've got 2 hands here. And these guys are really tiny, so I'm going to have to get in really close here. So there's the 2 hands. They're just pretty much 2 like open gesturing hands. Pretty good sculpt and detail though with those. Everything looks pretty darn good as far as that's concerned. Very nicely done with the hands. And they pretty much just peg right into, there's a peg on there. I don't believe that they work off of a hinge system. They just, like I said, they peg in. So next up, we've got the combi staff. Looks pretty good. Mine came a little bit warped, and this is a little bit more of a brittle plastic as opposed to being like a, maybe a more rubbery, durable style plastic. But it's not that bad. If yours does come deformed, as you can see, it's a little bit bent. I want to say up in this area just from me having to reform it. But I got to do a better job, go back and use some heat and just form it properly. But it did come a little bit warped and packaged. So just take a look at one of these. Try to take a look at the packaging before you buy them. But the overall sculpt and detail of it looks pretty darn good. I'm not gonna lie. With pretty on par. What I want to say with NECA's sculpt as far as the combi staffs go. It's your typical combi staff. It's not anything that we haven't seen before as far as design goes. And this is not a retractable one, so you can't. It's pretty much just all one sculpt right here. So. In case you were wondering about that, there's the combi staff. Nice sculpting and paint. There's a little bit of gray paint right here for the handle portion right there. And then we got some nice sculpting and paint shading going throughout. It's almost like a bronze right here and then a bronze down there. And then we've got some silver right here for the middle portion and then like a charcoal gray for the hand portion. So that looks really nice. I left my PS4 running downstairs. I'm in the middle of doing a WWE Universe mode for AEW, and it's still running downstairs. I forgot to turn it off, so I'm listening to the music play in the background. But anyway, here is his sword right here. Looks pretty good. I like the bone for the handle portion for this sword right here, and then I want to say the leather wrapping for the handle looks really good. So you got that nice bone colored, and then the handle portion is also painted that nice brown. And then for the blade, it is painted a nice silver for that. So that looks really good. Very pleased with how unique this sword looks there. Last up, we've got Mr. Raphael Adolini's, I want to say, flint pistol. So it looks pretty cool. I want to see, now here's the testament here. Did they get the inscribed Raphael Adolini in there? I don't think they did. No, they didn't. It's too small. I can't really mark against them the fact that they couldn't get that little name in there. That is tough. And this is 3 3/4 inch, so. But it looks really good nonetheless. I want to say where the paint detail is. It's pretty on point. These are small. These are very small pieces right here. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. The flint lock looks nicely done. And the handle portion, everything's pretty much painted on this. It's pretty much like a brown plastic with some silver and some gold painted on there. Looks good, man. All right, and then we'll bring Mr. Elder Predator over here. I'm just kind of taking a look at this guy. I want to say that he is pretty durable as far as that's concerned. I'm going to put him on his display base so you can see what he looks like on that really quick. And I want to see how well he pegs into this. Come on. That is a tight fit right there. Holy cannoli. Alright, that is a tight fit. This is why I kind of wish there were 2 pegs on these, but he stands fine on it. No issues there. Get to chat here. Orchid War 98, what's up, man? Yeah, I love the detail too. The Third Agent, what's up? Have I picked up any of the Kingpin wave yet or the Captain Marvel wave yet? No, I have not. Them Guts, what's up, buddy? You just got the City and the Guardian Predator the other day? Nice, man. That's dope. Yeah, I definitely want to pick up a couple more of these. I want to try and round out the Lost Tribe from Predator 2. That was a pretty cool group right there, I think, as far as design goes. If you guys don't know about this Predator, you can check out his prequel to Predator 2, where he's featured in the end of Predator 2. You can actually check out that comic. I forgot the name of it specifically. I do have the comic. It's somewhere in my comic archive somewhere. But you can check it out. It's featuring this Elder Predator specifically, and he goes up against Mr. Raphael Adelini. They don't fight initially. They actually, the short plot synopsis for that little story is the fact that I think Raphael they're what was it? Raphael's in I think he's a pirate, and he pretty much goes on a treasure hunt, and his group of pirates find this treasure, but it's also I believe buried near a church or in a church, and he doesn't agree with that, so he tries to go against the group, and the group try to kill him. Meanwhile, this Elder Predator kind of pops up and kills everyone, kind of helps Raphael from being murdered by his own gang, or whatever you want to call it. And then he actually, I think Raphael does get fatally injured in the battle, and hands over the pistol, and just says his last words were, "Take it." So if you watch Predator 2, this specific Elder Predator, at the end, he hands Harrigan, or he tosses actually Harrigan, this pistol and says, "Take it." So Raphael's last words were, "Take it," and he said, "Take it," to Harrigan. So that's, if you're wondering why he always says "take it," that specifically, that's why. It was Raphael's last words. So, but let me get back to there. Don't worry, I'm going to go through sculpt and detail and articulation. I'm just kind of, relaxing a little bit, telling his story. You missed my Mythic Legions review? Don't worry, man, they're not going anywhere. I have a whole bunch of them. So, I haven't done my top yet. I'm trying to get a lot of Predator content out there because it is something that I do enjoy, and I, with a lot of the new stuff coming out and a lot of the old stuff that I'm acquiring, and even stuff that I've had, I haven't put out a whole lot of NECA content, and I want to become more of a regular thing with my channel. But don't worry, Mythic Legions isn't going anywhere. I just, what happened was, you do so much content, and I did, what was it? I want to say 40 reviews in a row. So I kind of got a little burnt out, if you can kind of be a little understanding, with Mythic Legion. It's like, I did 40, almost 40 reviews in a row, nonstop. It was pretty much every day. I think I took off 1 or 2 days in between doing those reviews. And, I YouTube isn't my career, so I also have a career that I have to, go to, and this is actually busy season for me too, so it's tough to bust out a review every day. It's not that easy, especially an edited review. But don't worry, like I said, don't worry, Mythic Legions isn't going anywhere. I have a whole bunch of them I haven't shot reviews of, and I think I want to say my last Mythic Legions review was only about a week ago, so you can go back and check that out if you want. But plasma caster is kind of loose on both of yours. Mine's really tight, super tight, to the point where I think it's gonna break. It's super duper tight. Yeah, I think it's 1716. The Orc at War. I think it's 1716. Yeah, and the pirate did die, by his own hands. That's why I handed him the... it was kind of like a thank you to the Predator for helping him out. Because he would have met his certain... Well, I mean, he met his certain demise anyway, but he would have met a worse a worse death, you know. 1718. Okay. I think it was like 1716 or 1718. I couldn't tell. Okay, so, all right, those are the comments. I wanted to get to those. Sorry if you're like, why isn't he showing me the review? What the hell's going on? Do I find any Mythic Legion stuff where? Oh, do you find? Do you want to find some Mythic Legion stuff? Do you where I could buy them? Oh, I want to say your best shot for finding Mythic Legion is probably Big Bad Toy Store at this moment. They probably still have some stuff available. Other than that, there was a pre-order that was up at the end of December. I know I'm saying this after the fact. You're probably like, oh, gee, thanks for telling me that. Now it's after the fact. But the point I'm trying to make is there was a pre-order for the orcs that are coming out. I'm assuming that the pre-order was kind of short. I'm assuming that they might extend it. Now, do not take, like I'm saying, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Okay? I don't know, but if I were to speculate, I would assume that maybe they might extend it again. Or I'm sure they'll offer the figures again, but that pre-order just ended. But there is a Kickstarter coming up for all of the horses and all of the mounts that are coming. And I'm really excited because I really hope that we get Atlas's bear, but which he's supposed to ride. But there is that pre-order coming up. I want to say in April, May-ish. So, but if you were to buy them right now, I would say stay away from eBay when it comes to Mythic Legions. Do not buy any on eBay. Do not pay $70 for them a piece. That is way overpriced. Don't do it. Just wait. Be patient. If you can't find them, like I said, go on Big Bad Toy Store. I'd rather you spend $50 as opposed to $70, $80, $100 is what people are charging for one figure on eBay. So stay away from eBay. It's just a shit show over there. You want to make a custom Schaefer? The arcade version? Oh yeah, you could definitely do that with a rock body. Absolutely. We're going to get to the rock body, but anyway, let me get to the figure because I'm just like chatting up here and I'm not going through the figure. 22 minutes into the review and I haven't shown anything besides the accessories. The figure, don't worry, we'll get to questions, comments, concerns at the end, but here's the figure. Looks really good. As far as the paint detail goes, I think this is pretty damn good. I really do, and I'm unfortunately I don't have his 6-inch scaled or 7-inch scaled NECA counterpart. I'm still waiting on the Golden Angel version, which has not been released yet by NECA, but it's coming up. I want to say within this month, next month. But it looks really good nonetheless. Like I said, in the movie, if you watch it, he does have this like gray look. Now it could just be the lighting, and but in the movie, he is kind of like grayish. So at least it looks that way. And then in other lighting, he looks like this color. And then in the other figure is like green. But here we have like almost like I want to say like a yellowish mixed with some gray. Now I'm sure when the 6-inch figure comes out, if you don't have the previous version, the single carded version, he does have a whole bunch of detail, which is very tough for them to kind of get in here. But I do want to commend them for attempting to get the gray little, I want to say eyebrow portions in there, because it is really tough to get that in there. Let me get that out of the way. Sorry, that was just bugging me. But let me get him in here close as I can. As you can see, the little bit of gray right here. He actually has a whole bunch of gray by design. He has a whole bunch of gray, kind of like eyebrows, spikes going throughout his head. They did a pretty good job. Some of the spikes are painted, as you can see right here. Sorry, if you guys are wondering what that huffing and puffing is, my dog is dreaming right now. He fell asleep, and this is what he does. But the face looks really good. Very pleased with that. I think the mandibles look pretty good, too. And the hair, look at all this nice sculpted detail for the hair and all this nice paint detail also with all of his braids and stuff like that, and all the little clasps for his braids. Looks really good. Very pleased with that overall. And then flipping on to the Plasmacaster. The Plasmacaster in backpack. I want to say his med pack is probably around this area. It might be covered up due to this little portion right here. Or this actually might be the med pack right there. But we have the Plasmacaster right there on the backpack portion. Looks pretty good. It's a little bit bulky, but I think it's still within scale. I think it still looks pretty good. I don't believe it's removable. Let me give that a little test right here. And I don't think it's removable. It's pretty much came in package like this, so I want to say that's probably either glued or sculpted to the back. Like I said, the Plasmacaster is very stiff. There is, I want to say, I don't think there's a ball socket in there. Yeah, it's kind of pegged in, but it's really stiff. Like I said, I'd rather have, or like I always say, I should say, I would rather have a stiff joint over a loose joint any day of the week. Sign me up for a stiff joint. No pun intended with that. But here's his wrist gauntlet or wrist blades right here. They are retractable, so you can pull these little guys out if you want to. Zippity doo dah, zippity a. There you go. That's pretty cool, man. Looks really cool. So really good job on the paint for the wrist blades too. Nice silver color. Very crisp and clean with that. I want to get back in here with Predators and how they're designed as far as their faces. It's really hard to see their eyes, but his eyes are in there and they're kind of like a yellow dot in there. So I know you guys can't see it. It's kind of tough for me to even see it, but oh no, you can see it right there maybe. There you go. I like these are kind of like a nice pliable rubbery plastic, so these will definitely hold up the as far as the test of time goes. I want to say his little trophies, his necklace trophies right here. So that's pretty cool. Looks really good. Nice nice bone coloration for all the bone pieces, all the skulls, and the little decorative pieces for the necklace. The armor is a nice like gunmetal slash I want to say like a metallic style charcoal gray for that. All of those colors into one. You're like, pick a damn color already. But I like his little satchel, his little bandolier style pouch right here. That looks pretty cool. Nicely done with the paint apps for the line work in that. I think it was pretty darn good for 3 3/4 inch figure. And then the skull on this side. And that looks like the sheath, which would be for his sword, which we'll get to in a little bit. So that's pretty cool. Nice skull work for that sculpt. Nice paint for that skull on the side of him. And then we got some, I want to say some more coloration, which is very similar to the skull right here for this belt portion, which goes all the way around. And then for the crotch covering piece, looks pretty good. For the legs, look pretty solid. Same type of coloration for the knee and shin armor. And they wrap around all the way to the back. Really good. Nice coloration for the netting, the fish netting over here. And then the skin tone looks pretty on point. Pretty consistent going throughout the entire body, so you don't have any issues with that. You don't have to worry about any of that. And then I want to say that's almost pretty much it. Let me just get to some of this hair. Like you got some braided pieces right here, which are kind of connected. These 3 pieces are connected to each other. Really good job. It almost looks like they did a little bit like paint spackling going throughout. So that looks pretty good. Very pleased with the overall sculpt and detail of this. For, like I said, for a 3 3/4 inch figure, holy Toledo, there's a lot of detail with this guy. And I want to say, you know, these figures run you around the same as like a Vitruvian hack, like I want to say like maybe something similar to like a Leonidas, or you know the mainstay characters, or like an Achilles. So could go that route. You could actually set these you know, Predators, since they can time travel, you could actually set them up with your Vitruvian hacks and, you know, have a battle scene with maybe Leonidas versus a Predator or something down that line, you know, like I said, Achilles or, you know, one of the what you call it, the kings and the knights and stuff like that. You can go that route too. Or obviously you can set them up with your Joes, which we'll get to in a second. Do some size comparisons. But as far as his articulation does go, I want to say his head is on a ball peg joint. Pretty good articulation as far as the range of motion as well, as far as the head goes. I'm actually surprised that he can actually move his head up that well. But his hair is such a nice, light, pliable plastic, and everything is like a rubbery style plastic that it doesn't get in the way. It really doesn't hinder him like it would a NECA figure, seeing as it's being a little bit smaller and this is a little bit less plastic being used. So looking up is nice. Looking down is pretty darn good too. And then he can pivot side to side. Let's see if he's got some jive turkeys. Oh, we got a little turkey. We got a little gobble. Right there. So there's a little jive turkey right there for you. We haven't had jive turkey in a while with these reviews. Well, there you go with the jive turkeys. This arm's a little bit hindered. Let me get this arm up. And this bandolier pouch is a separate piece, by the way. So that's about maxed out for the arms. I was hoping for a little bit more range of motion there. It's not the end of the world. Something you can't work with. The sculpted shoulder armor gets in the way, or the pauldrons, whatever you want to call those. The shoulder armor gets in the way of the hinge joint, so it kind of hinders it a little bit there, but the arms go down as well, like so, at the sides in a neutral position. Obviously, you can't do a full 360 rotation, but you can get full rotation right here. I mean, I always point out that it can or cannot do full 360, as if that would actually matter, because, I mean, your arm can't do a full 360. Well, it can, but it doesn't do like one of these. You can't do a broken arm 360 like I just did with him. But he does have a bicep swivel right here on both sides, and it's hidden quite nicely over there. He does have a single jointed elbow, but it gets a pretty good range of motion. I want to say about a little bit less than 90 degrees, but a solid single bend. I want to say he gets a little bit better of a bend on this side than the wrist blade side. I think it's just due to the sculpting of the gauntlet right here, just kind of getting in the way. And then I want to say, I felt like there was another, no, maybe there wasn't. There is a swivel at the gauntlet on both sides. So you do have that swivel there. And there's obviously a swivel at the hand, and it's just a ball peg. Like I said, there you go. Oops, pop the hand off. Let's get that hand back in there. And then he does have a diaphragm joint right there, and it can crunch back, and it can crunch forward, and it does pivot side to side. No waist joint, but it does have the diaphragm joint, so pretty much that's all you need. He can do the splits about that far. Legs go forward, and they do go back a little bit. He does have an upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee, which is beautiful. And then he does have an ankle joint. Now, this ankle joint is not my favorite. I'm going to be honest with you. There is like a two-stage peg system going on here with the foot. So it can point the toe and point the heel, but it's like you got to find that sweet spot with it. It doesn't like to stay in position sometimes. And then when you do get it in position, it kind of wobbles a little bit, and then he kind of becomes a little bit top heavy, and that's working against the weight of the foot peg. So it's kind of like there's a lot of things working against getting him balanced, but just work with it a little bit. There's no ankle pivot, which I kind of wish there was. I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of 3 3/4 inch collectors and fans don't like ankle pivots with 3 3/4 inch figures, but I feel like this one, maybe being at a little bit higher of a price point, could have used it. It does have the swivel, though, like your typical G.I. Joe. It's okay. Like I said, I think just because of the bulkiness of his feet and the fact that his feet are rounded at the bottom are kind of working against him as far as, you know, getting him to stand flat and proper. I feel like he really could have used maybe an ankle pivot, even with these toes on the side right there. But, I mean, you just got to work with him a little bit more. It's not the end of the world. I said the same thing about Shadow Tracker. His feet are kind of awkward. And there's actually sculpting on the bottom of his feet, so that kind of works against him as well. But he does have 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet, and that's pretty much it as far as sculpt, paint detail, and articulation, range of motion, all that fun stuff. And yeah, so I want to say it's pretty solid. It's not anything that we haven't seen before, not that it needs to be. It's pretty on point. Everything works pretty good. Let me get him pegged it back in here. We'll peg him in on this side now and see how well this pegs in. That is a tight fit on that foot. Holy Toledo. I'm going to have to spread this foot out, this peg joint on his foot. All right, so there we go. That helped. The pegs on his feet are so small, and then the peg holes, I should say, on his feet are so small, and then this peg on the stand is girthy. So, but there you go. With that, he does stand on that perfectly fine. Let's get these other extra hands in really quick so you can see what they look like. It's very easy to pop those off. Not a big deal at all. It's not hard or anything like that. You don't feel like you're going to snap anything off. Let's get that in. Emma, get in there. So there you go. There's the open hand. Not a big deal there. And let's pop that hand back off. Get the other gripping hand in. Before I put that gripping hand in, I'm going to put the sword in. Wow, that was really easy. That went in so easy. That went in quite simple, my friends. My friends. So there he is holding the sword. No issues there. Looks pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. And I do. All right, let's get his combi staff in his hand here. Get your little combi staff in your hand. I just find it easier to take the hands off and do this. It's all up to however you want to, or however you guys want to do it. I said that backwards, like however guys you want to do. There we go. Pop that sucker back in there. There we go. And he's holding his combi staff now in an awkward way, but he's holding it nonetheless. There you go. Looking good. You guys have any comments, questions, concerns? Let's get this. Not that he actually uses this, but let's get this in his hand too and see how well that works. Still listening to WWE music down there. Oop. All right. You're being quite a pain in the rear end, sir. All right, so I want to say the left hand definitely holds his flint pistol a lot better than the right hand. The right hand's a little bit spread out. I mean, obviously you can work with that hand and kind of remold it into being a tighter grip, but if you want to have him hold the flint pistol, I suggest putting in the left hand. It's a little bit more pistol gripish, pistol grippy, if you know what I mean. But, yeah, there you go. Looks good. He can hold everything. Nicely done. All right, so let's get this back in his... Oh, boy, that is a high... Let me try to figure this out really quick. Get off that. Get off. All right, just stay on there. Try and figure out this sheath here. Because I don't know... Where is that hole for the... There, oh, it's so up. It's up so high. You got to bring this belt down a little bit. Kind of swivel him to get this in that sheath. Hole is obviously very odd too. Am I doing this right? It doesn't feel like I'm doing this right. Yeah, there you go. It's going in. That is a very odd spot for that. I feel like this should have a swivel on it. I don't like the way that's kind of putting pressure on the sword, but it works. It's in there. There you go. It is in there. Now he's leaning backwards. Stop leaning. Where's that thigh swivel? There we go. Looks pretty good in there. It's a little bit bulky, like I said. But, yeah, I think he looks pretty darn good. There's a couple little things as far as like that sword sheath. I kind of wish that was on a swivel, like I just said. I think it's pretty cool that the bandolier piece is a separate piece. It's not just molded onto his body. Like I said, the plasma caster on mine is extremely stiff to the point where I'm kind of worried that it might snap. It is a pliable plastic, though. It's not too bad, so you don't have to really worry too much about it. But I just get a little bit, I mean, this is like the first one I've owned, so I'm not really sure how these things work, but I don't want to be, too overly cautious. It's a toy at the end of the day. But it does swivel at the top right here. You can give it the swivel. Mine's just like frozen solid. Like I said, you can see it is a pliable plastic. It's not like the NECA ones where they're kind of brittle. And I think there's a peg in there, I want to say. It looks like there's a peg in there for the stock of the plasma caster. But overall, very pleased with how this figure turned out. Like I said, if I could improve a couple things on him, it would be, I want to say, better range of motion for those shoulder joints. Maybe make the hinges a little bit further down, even if it does go into the sculpt a little bit. I prefer to have the range of motion as opposed to having sculpt. That's my personal preference. Obviously, I'd give him ankle pivots, and I know a lot of people might disagree with me there, but that's just what I prefer. And that sword sheath. All the paint, I'm pretty pleased with all the paint. I don't have any, paint slop issues or anything like that. I really don't have many quality control issues with him being too loose. I want to say maybe he's becoming a little bit more and more loose in those ankles, which is kind of worrisome. But at the end of the day, I still think he's a really fun figure. You can't open up his left Gauntlet detonator. I tried yesterday while I was fiddling around with him, and you can't, unfortunately, open that. He does not come with a smart disc, but that's just by design. He doesn't use a smart disc, so there's that. Yeah, I think at this stage, like I said, I agree, Dumb Guts. At this stage, I think that our 3 3/4 inch figures should use ankle pivots. And I know there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of people that don't like them on 3 3/4 inch figures, but I think if you do it right, it can work. I just think it helps balance the figure better. I think specifically with him, because he has those rounded kind of sculpted feet, he is kind of a pain in the rear end to stand. I'm going to be honest with you. All right, so let's get to some size comparisons, because I don't want to be sitting here just babbling. You're babbling, ODC. What are you doing? You babbling. All right. I'm going to do these with display stands on first, just so you guys can get a good idea. And then I'll take them off the display stands and do that as well. So obviously we have to do this comparison first, right? I mean, you just have to. So here is the Elder Predator up next to Shadow Tracker. Still to this day, one of my favorite figures in my collection. God, I just love the overall mystique of the character. The design of the character, obviously, it's harkening very much back to a Predator. So, but you can see there, the little nod to Predator that Hasbro did a really good job with. But I love this figure. I love the character. I wish this character was featured more in comics, or even a TV show down the road, or in a movie. I think, a movie is a perfect way to take a very interesting character that not a lot of people know about, and dive into that that character's backstory and whatnot, even if he doesn't have to have a backstory. So there you go. There he is, stacked up next to a Hasbro G.I. Joe Cobra action figure and Shadow Tracker. And actually, you know what? Let's get a good comparison here. Let's get his... Come on. Get in there, you little... Oh, there goes the hand. I want to say that maybe that's one more thing that kind of is annoying me a little bit about this. The hands do come out very easily. Uh-oh, I just dropped the hand. Where did my hand go? Oh no, it went into the abyss of nothingness. Oh, there it is. Okay, found it. I found it. Don't you hate it when something hits the ground? It just disappears and you're like, what? What the heck? That doesn't make any sense. It disappeared into the nothingness, into the rug or the floor, and now it's gone forever. But there's a nice little comparison, him with his combi staff and Shadow Tracker with his spear right there. It looks pretty good together, those two. And they even come with he comes with like a machete edged weapon. He comes with another edged weapon, a machete, a whole bunch of stuff that's very Predator-ish. So there's Shadow Tracker. Like I said, one of the coolest, I want to say, coolest Cobra action figures you can possibly get from Hasbro. All right, next up we'll do a different body style. We'll do a larger rock body right here. I know it says Lieutenant Falcon. It's not Falcon. I know. I don't know. I have a whole bag full of these stands, and I'm just like, I just grabbed the stand really quick, and I couldn't find his for some awful reason. But there's Leatherneck, in case you were wondering. So they stack up pretty well with display stands. And then, so there you go with Leathernecker. And then last up we'll do another one of my favorite Joes is General Hawk right there. And then if you're wondering, I mean, I know you're wondering, because I would be wondering too, well, ODC, how does it stack up next to a Vitruvian Hack? Pretty well, I might say. Oop, he keeps, stop dropping you. There you go. There's Leonidas right there. Leonicius. There's Leonidas right there. Pretty good right there. And then if you take the helmet off, there you go. And I should probably take him off his stand, shouldn't I? And here you go. You got, there's my character, Checkmate. There's a Marauders figure stacked up next to the Predator. The Elder Predator, I should be specific there. So really good scale across the board. I want to say some people I've seen some complaining. Oh, they don't fit right. They're supposed to be 7.5 feet tall to 8 feet tall, depending. He's not tall enough, and I'm like, come on, stop it. He still looks pretty darn good. All right, there he is with no stand. Let me get Hawk off his stand here. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty darn good. And because my camera is angled, I will angle them next to each other. That's pretty darn good. I don't think you're going to have too many issues here. So, I mean, if you want to nitpick it, then don't get them. And I'm not speaking to everybody on here, obviously. But, oh, there he goes. All right. Like I said, he is kind of a pain in the rear end to get to stand. All right, you two with your spears, you just don't want to hold them properly today. There you go. I mean, he's a little bit small standing up next to, I guess, a hack, but take off the helmet, and then you've got your scale again right here. So. Pretty good. I think it's a good scale. Good solid scale. Could it be a little bit taller? Sure. But at the end of the day, I think it's fine. And then you've got your giant over here and the rock body. And obviously the rock body. Let's put them back to back right here. Which is what I should have done. I want to say the Predator's a little bit taller. He is just a little bit taller. So. And he's actually leaning forward too, so. There you go. And then we'll get, oops, if you're wondering here. Just in case you're wondering here, we'll get Shadow Tracker off his display base. My dog's making weird noises, groaning noises. There you go with that little comparison. He's obviously taller than Shadow Tracker. So, there you go. Oops, his foot's doing something weird. There you go. All right. I know it's kind of like a weird size comparison thing, but he's kind of a pain in the rear end to stand. He's a little bit back heavy due to the plasma caster and the backpack. But it's nice that he does come with a display stand, so at least you have that option in case you don't care to really pose him on his own. You do have that option of using the display stand. You don't have to, but it's the options there, so it's pretty cool. But overall, I would give this a recommend. I think that I mean, you could nitpick the crap out of this figure and be like, it's not that great. But I think it's a really good figure. I like it. I enjoy it. I'm giving it the 2 thumbs up seal of approval. Go pick it up. I would say if you can find it for $20, I'd say pull the trigger. I think $25 is asking a bit much. I wouldn't recommend picking them up for that much, to be honest with you. I think that I know some like rare Joes modern Joes go for like around the $30 to $40 price point, even sometimes more. But I think that's a different, and I don't agree with that pricing either. I would never pay $70, $60, $70 for a 3 3/4 inch figure. That's just insane to me that people think that's okay price to spend on an old Joe figure. But to each their own, I guess. If you're going to spend the money, you're going to spend the money. But this Predator, I would definitely give it 2 thumbs up, and it's a good figure. I like it overall. He looks pretty good as far as, and I probably will do a comparison with the NECA version once I get that. So we'll do like paint, different paint styles, because this is from a different company. It's from Hiya Toys, so it's an overseas company. This is more of like I want to say a little bit more of a specialty item too. So there's that part of it. I think these are up at Big Bad Toy Store for around $18 to $20. So I would definitely, pull the trigger on that. I might have to pick up some more of these. Like I said, I definitely want to pick up, I definitely want to pick up the Lost Predator and the Shaman Predator next. So that would be cool to get those couple. Maybe I might, the Shadow. Hopefully they come out with the Ghost Predator. That's one that is still eluding me as far as the NECA versions go. But he's really awesome. He's kind of like a ninja version of a Predator. If his backstory as far as that goes. Yeah, I want some Xenomorphs too. That would be really cool. They have the Colonial Marines, so it's only a matter of time before we start getting some Xenomorphs. So if you guys wanted to pick up some Colonial Marines, you can, because they do offer them. So there's that option as well. And I think they're available right now as per the date of this review, obviously. Sometimes I get people and they watch my old reviews and they're like, dude, what are you talking about? This sold out like a year ago. And I'm like, check the date of the review. What are you doing, bro? The Marines look bad. Rather have a Marauders Task Force? Well, there you go. You can go that route too. I think mostly I have seen reviews on them. I want to say it's probably the face sculpts that are probably the down-trotting notion to the Colonial Marines. Marauders does, but the armor's different. Marauders doesn't offer the same type of armor. It's like completely different. Like a Colonial Marine has like smooth shin armor, boots. I mean, you can get it close to looking like that, but not 100% accurate. If that bothers you, I know some people like movie accuracy. So if you're looking for movie accuracy and you don't really care about the head sculpts, then you can go that route. Nope to what? slightly different. I would say that they're not really the same. I mean, you have that shin armor. The armors are different. They're definitely like glaringly different. But if, like I said, if that doesn't bother you, yeah, the accuracy. Oh yeah, yeah, you know. But yeah, this is a cool figure. Go pick them up. Pretty cool. I like them. I like them a lot. I like it a lot. And I know I'm not featuring. I should probably do this before the review's over, right? I mean, I got to do it, right? I mean, I got to do it. Right? I have to do it. I've done it in all my other new reviews, right? I have. So get your nubbins, Brian. There you go. There. I hope that made everyone's weekend right there. Oh, let me get his little musket. It's supposed to hang in his belt, but I'm going to use this little bandolier to kind of get it to sit in there. Come on, get in there, you little turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. There you go. Gobbledygooker. The gobbledygooker. I don't know why I'm always referencing turkeys. I have no idea. Any NECA Preds? I can go get one if you really want. All right, I'll go get one. Come on, Oreo, let's go get one. Let's go get a Predator. Okay, here you go. I got you, you Predator. I got you, you Predator. All right, so I figured, stick within the Lost Clan, right? Because he's pretty much the elder, the leader of the Lost Clan. So we'll go with this. We'll put him right here, right? And then we'll go with Mr. Shamalama Ding Dong. Shaman Predator right here. There you go. It's the Predator and his son. There you go. Let me back it up. Oh, hold on a second. Get that situation out of there. I don't know what that was doing there. There you go. Shamalama Ding Dong, the Shaman Predator. All right. Get that back over there. Okay. Yeah, this is an older NECA Predator figure. That's an older one right there. I know, it's just like it's shrunken down. That's what I'm saying. These are solid figures, man. I like them a lot. I like it, and I like it a lot. Looks good. Looks good. Pretty cool. So if you guys have any more questions, I'll give you, I don't want to go past an hour here. I think that's asking a lot for people to watch a whole hour video. But if you guys have any more questions, comments, concerns, please get them in before I end the review. If not, I will end the review. I'll make an announcement right now. Expect yeah, absolutely, Dumb Guts. Anytime, buddy. Expect my contest video to be up Monday. I posted this on my Facebook page. From hitting 3,000 subs, and now I'm over 3,000 subs. Thank you so much to everybody for all the support. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. I know there's like a lot of people that just want to see like 3 3/4 inch stuff, G.I. Joe stuff, and I'm trying to like give you that as much as possible. But there's so many other cool figures that I haven't shot reviews for, where I'm just like, man, I really want to do reviews on this. That's why I'm doing like a lot of Predator stuff lately. If you guys are wondering, it's like, why are you doing so much Predator stuff lately? I just love it, and I haven't had a chance to get to a whole lot of it. So because I've been so swamped with like doing all those Mythic Legions reviews, getting those out for you guys, and then trying to get your GI Joe 3 3/4 inch Marauders, all the above hack stuff too. I have 2 more hack reviews I have to do with like the Spartan Warrior or the Leonidas or whatever, and then I have what was it, the Barbarian one that I picked up when I went to go visit Strident over the back in September. I still have to do that review. Like there's so much stuff I have to do a review of. Like I want to do the Mobile Command Center, and I also want to do the Terradrome, but I don't know how I'm going to do that because it's so big, and my my camera right now, I'm still using my iPad because of situational things, but I guess there's a whole bunch of like the bug I can do, but I want to do the bug review because I don't know, as much as I did like my Brawler review, I didn't like it also because it wasn't complete. I know it's not a big deal. It's like, oh, who cares if it's incomplete? But you know, I'd like to be able to show you guys the vehicles and figures when they're 100% complete and not missing something. So I don't have to be like, this is missing, and then you don't know what it looks like. So, so I got to hunt some stuff down for the bug. I have to hunt some stuff down for the Hammerhead. I could do the Cobra Condor. That is 100% complete. I'm trying to think. I have a whole bunch of smaller vehicles I can do too. I also have my GI Joe bases too. I'm gonna have to take. I might have to do those with like regular reviews, like, and take photos because that stuff's just way too big. I can't get that all on camera. It's gonna have to be done with video or photos. So, but like I said, don't get too upset if like I'm not doing a Joe review like every single time, or a Marauders video every single time. So I like my variety. I just can't help it. But yeah, you have a lot of different lines that you're into too. That's cool, man. What kind of other lines are you into? Dumb guts. And you get your damn combi staff in your hand. You with your combi staff. You jerk. There we go. All right. Looking good. And now I went over an hour. I said I wasn't going to, and I did anyway. Oh, well. I do have a lot of fun doing these live reviews and chatting with you guys. Like, I just really dig it. Oh, I missed a bunch of things. You finally got... Oh, you finally got JD. You finally got Sir Gideon. That's awesome, man. He's a great figure. Love that figure. One of my favorites. And I definitely, that's another thing. I want to do that top 10 of the Advent of Decay. So that's an important thing I want to do. Maybe I'll have to try and get that done this upcoming week. So, do I collect Masters of the Universe Classics? Oh boy, was I late to collecting those. Well, the thing is, with what was it, Club Eternia? I never joined that thing because I was already putting money into, at the time, the Club Infinite Earths. So I was collecting all the DC figures at the time. I couldn't really afford to dive into 2 sublines at the time, and they garnish a higher pay. But I mean, I have some. I don't have a whole lot. That's why like Mythic Legions is like, I was able to catch that from the beginning, relatively. So I have the majority of Mythic Legion. So that's kind of like my Motu line. I have a couple Motu figures. They're not like any sought after ones. Like I would love to have Fisto. That's one of my favorite ones that I had as a child. I do have like a He-Man figure. I have a couple of the ones that people probably don't care that much about. I would like to get Extendor down the road. I got Vicor, and Vicor to me is I want to say one of my favorites, if not my favorite Motu classic, because he was the original design for He-Man when they started the line, before like when it was in the think tank process. when they're like, oh, let's do a Conan line, because that was the original thing that they wanted to do with Motu, before it was called Motu, or Masters of the, before it was called Masters of the Universe Classics. It was going to be a Conan line, and that was, I think, around the same design. So I just dig Vicor, and he looks like Conan, and Conan's one of my favorite characters. So I love Vicor. He's fantastic. I'm just so happy that I have him. You just grabbed yours to play with? Oh, you're a Predator? Yeah, nice, man. All right, but yeah, I think I'll end it there, guys. I'll cut it short, or it's not really short; it's over an hour. But but yeah, I'll probably do a live hangout on Monday, just because it's easier for me to just kind of chat. It's going to be like a straight up like hangout. We're gonna chill. We're gonna talk action figures on Monday. I'm gonna discuss all of the. Thanks, JD. Thanks, buddy. I'm gonna discuss all of the contest rules. It's going to be real laid back, real chill. And I have off Monday, so I might do it earlier in the day, seeing as a lot of people do have off. So we'll hang out. We'll do that. We'll talk action figures, keep it real fun and chill. And yeah, I'll give you guys away some figures. I'm going to do 3 tiers, like I said. So stay tuned for that. I'll explain all that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hit the like button if you want to. That helps me a lot. If you want to hit the dislike button, that's cool too, but let me know how I can improve my content in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you like the content and you want to see more. Hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. Ring my bell, ring my bell. Okay, all that, But yeah, this is the Hiya Toys 1/18 scale / 3 3/4 inch scale Elder Predator from Predator 2. It's a fantastic figure, great detail, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the review.